learned from Sharon Srivatsa. It's called BATNA. Now, I didn't know the fancy term for it, but it means best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So what does this really mean? Research has shown that having strong BATNA, basically a strong alternative, gives you significant leverage in negotiations. Negotiations is all about leverage. London Business School did a study and they found that negotiators who know their alternatives set higher aspirations, so they ask for more, they make more aggressive first offers, and they negotiate ultimately better outcomes. So your BATNA serves as almost like an anchor, a counter anchor that you have in the back of your mind of what you're negotiating with. It's kind of like a source of power. It's a decision standard that you only accept deals that are better than your best alternative. You can think about this in any setting. So if you're with a girl and you know that you can only date 10s, if a 7 comes along, you're like, well, my alternative is a 10, so I'm only dealing with 10s. If someone says, hey, I'll be willing to buy all of your inventory for $10 a piece, and somebody else comes along and says, I'll do it for 9, instead of just saying no, you're like, I'll do it for $10.50 or I'll do it for 11. You can edge them up. But if you know that it's not going to matter, then it doesn't matter. So I'll tell you something that recently happened. I'm right now negotiating to buy a home. It's something that Layla wants, and it's aggressive. We already have a home that we like a lot. I really like the house we have. My best alternative to buying this house is doing nothing and just enjoying the home that I already have. They're in a terrible position because right now I know that they haven't had anyone else who's bid on the property because it's aggressively priced, I'll just put it that way. It's them versus me, and it's who wants it less. The reason BATNA is so important is you're like, okay, I get that. How do I have a best alternative to a negotiated agreement? You win negotiations, and I'm starting with this one because I think it's all 5 of this, or 6 ones that I'm going to show you are going to be so important. But this one is probably the greatest source of psychological power. And you do this before you sit down to the table. Me going to look at these homes, I know I don't have to buy the homes. When I was selling Gym Launch and Prestige Labs, I was like, I can just keep the businesses and they'll just keep making me money. I don't need to sell them. And from negotiating for that position, you only want to sell when you don't want to sell. You want to buy when you don't want to buy because you have something else. If you're looking for jobs as an employee, you want to negotiate when you already have another offer. So if you're going to your existing employer, get another offer and then negotiate with that. You can only do that so many times before you start losing goodwill. So you have to make sure that you're balancing that well. If you're dealing with a vendor, then you're like, okay, I'm going to get multiple bids before I'm going to decide to work with you, because these are what I'm considering. You'll get so educated from actually negotiating 4, 5, 6 of these vendor agreements that you'll learn other terms that other people include that you can use, which is a later strategy that I'll explain. Getting multiple offers before you sit down increases your bet. So for sure, don't take the first offer, because even if you have first offer within the negotiation with one guy, but then you have that offer compared to all the other offers you're ultimately going to get to do the work. On the vendor side, it's reversed. What's my best alternative? What are my other customers? If I've got 20 other customers, I've got people banging on the door, it's a supply-demand thing. So I've got more demand for my services than I have supply. And so if you don't want it, don't worry, I've got another customer behind you. And so this is the leverage that we go back and forth in negotiations. And then finally, with partnerships, the same idea. How can I get multiple offers from people wanting to buy my business? And at the same degree for me, if I'm trying to buy a business, then I want to not have to buy the business because I got other businesses I'm looking at. So no matter what, all of this is won before you sit down to the table. Right now, if you sit down and you need this deal and you have no other offers, all the little tactics that you can try, sure, you can try to do it, but the thing is that it's just trying to win at poker only on bluffing. It's a bad position to be in. I would rather have pocket aces. If you have other offers, there's 2 different ways of thinking about this. So one is you can be overt about it and say, listen, this is the counter offer. If you could beat the offer, beat it. If you can't, no worries, we don't need to waste time. The other way is that you just have it in the back of your mind and then you just see what you can get. Because the thing is, somebody else is giving you a $10 offer. If you say, hey, I've got a $10 offer, maybe this person will just beat it by $10.25. But if you have the confidence that you know you're going to sell the inventory no matter what for a profit, shoot for 11, shoot for 12, shoot for 15. Like you can shoot way higher because you know your plan B is not bad. And so when you show it, they're just going to basically marginally edge it versus you having the confidence to basically swing big. Real quick, if you were a business owner